Hello, welcome back everyone. It is now the middle of October of 2022, and as we get closer to the end of this month, we are only getting closer to the big reveals for Star Wars for next year of 2023 by Jon and Dave for really debuting The Mandalorian Season 3, the Ahsoka Tano series, and a whole lot more on the horizon as well. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way guys, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support. It is greatly appreciated. Now, one thing about the new universe between both Jon and Dave is that not only are they pulling and cherry-picking from many fan-favorite elements of Star Wars Legends, but they're also really focusing on all of the Star Wars lore that's going to get mixed in with the current Disney canon and how that's really going to regulate itself. Now, looking to where we stand today, Kathleen Kennedy is still working on the Acolyte series, on the Skeleton Crew TV show, struggling with both to some degree, and Disney executives have not really been all that happy with Kathleen Kennedy and her work effort and all that. So when we look at her, and when we look at Jon, you can see the contrast in who's passionate and who's really not. Now, one thing about both Acolyte and Skeleton Crew being handled by Kennedy is that they've both had their share of either rewrites, reshoots, or production loopholes, and we'll talk about this in just a second of what Disney CEO recently warned Kathleen Kennedy about, and it does involve a lot to do with what she's been doing behind the scenes over at Lucasfilm. So, there's been a lot of things going on, and there's been a lot of problems arising over at that company for quite a long time now, believe it or not, and that's what's great about Jon and Dave, is that they are coming in to, regulate everything, to really kind of equalize everything related to Star Wars. Now, with that being said, with both Favreau and Filoni getting ready to announce new Star Wars shows at next year's celebration, they are also prepared to hire new, passionate creators to help them achieve their Star Wars goals. Now, it's noted that currently Disney CEO Bob Chapek recently just warned Kathleen Kennedy again about something very specific related to her actions against the Star Wars universe. Lately, she has been deleting and canceling many pieces of work that were done by both Favreau and Filoni to help fix the Acolyte series. Now, since Kennedy has been deleting more of the fixes related to Jon and Dave, which mostly were Old Republic flashback scenes that they had Leslie Headland write into the script, Bob Chapek recently gave Kennedy the biggest ultimatum by informing her that if she continues to pull from the fixes and keeps erasing what Jon and Dave came in to fix, that he will have no choice to cancel the show altogether. So let me just pause here quick before we get to the next thing. The thing about this that's really crucial to Kathleen Kennedy, and especially her overall reputation, alright, is that basically this show in her mind was going to be her legacy. The show that she's going to leave behind before she plans to leave Lucasfilm, or before Disney fires her before she gets to leave. There's a lot of things happening. We've talked about this between Kathleen Kennedy creating her own production company. We talked about that. That is currently in the works. And also Disney CEO Bob Chapek and the executives already gaining a plan to get Kathleen Kennedy out before her contract ends in 24. And they have a lot of candidates on board now. There's a lot of people willing to come in and take up that opportunity to turn Star Wars around and fix things and just patch things for the better. Now, the thing about Kennedy here, getting this big warning about the Acolyte is no surprise. You would think that you wouldn't want to erase Jon and Dave's work. Jon and Dave came in, by the way, to help fix the Acolyte, to help really regulate the series, to kind of give it a better flow, add in more fun stuff that are really catered to the hardcore fans. And Kathleen Kennedy wasn't having it. I mean, once they left, once Jon and Dave, volunteered to leave and just didn't want to deal with it anymore, that's when Kennedy started going on a spree of just deleting things, erasing things from the script, and just, kind of departing from Jon and Dave. And obviously, Chapek had a big issue with that, as well as the executives, and that's why they stepped in, they gave her this big warning, and they told her, you know, if you keep doing this, we're going to cancel this show altogether. It gives us the right to, because it poses a big risk then toward us gaining revenue. So that's why Disney is really getting pretty much into the whole situation now, is because this show is costing them money before the show has even come out. I mean, they've already had to take down sets due to rewrites. They've already had to hire multiple different directors and co-writers because of them getting fired and others getting hired. It's just a big mess when it comes to the Acolyte series. So the next thing here that I do want to actually tap into real quick is, this is said to actually have already changed Kathleen Kennedy's mind on what she has been doing with the Acolyte. Kennedy is described to also be reversing some of her actions of erasing John and Dave's work from the script and putting them back into the story after Chapek warned her about canceling the show. Now, Chapek and the executives, as of right now, have little optimism about the show being a success, since it's been through so many production loopholes that caused Disney to lose hundreds of thousands of dollars on set builds that were taken down due to script rewrites by Kathleen Kennedy. Which is another reason why, by the way, why Chapek is fed up with Kathleen Kennedy messing with the story of the Acolyte, and of course the approval for a second season now is looking very, very slim and extremely unlikely at this point by Disney. So that's another thing, by the way. Disney, yes, did agree with Kathleen Kennedy right from the start that if this show proves successful, we will greenlight it for a second season. If not, this show is going to be a one-off. You know, they don't really care. They just don't want a second season with the show at all at this point. And I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that they are finally realizing John and Dave's contrast against Kathleen Kennedy's work. And you see that. You really do see the difference. It's like night and day difference. It really is. So it's going to be interesting because they're going to begin filming by this December, at least for now. I mean, that's the current schedule. They want to get this thing done by either June or July when it comes to filming, hop into post-production, get it all edited, add in your special effects, the music, color grading, correction, and whatnot, and try to get this thing out by 24. Now, they're not looking at releasing this, by the way, until the summer of 2024. Still got a very long ways to go due to Kathleen Kennedy's mishaps and delaying things and rewrites. I mean, the list goes on and on. So I think that Chapek made the right call. He finally is standing up to things. He's really getting in Kathleen Kennedy's way now, telling her, you know what, if you keep on doing this, we're gonna have to do this. That's basically what he did, and I respect him for that, because I think that's something that was long needed. Something that Kathleen Kennedy needed to realize, that there has to be some kind of consequences based on what she's doing with really kind of messing around with John and Dave's work out of pure passion. And we'll have to see exactly, you know, how John and Dave's work will be portrayed by Kathleen Kennedy's work for the Acolyte series when it's all said and done. So overall, you know, there's a lot of things happening there. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about all of this below in the comments. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
From night